Hello, I am Sinfogel. So, we can finally challenge Cobalion. In this video, I will go over how this battle works and how to defeat Cobalion to help you get the 4-star medal for this event. There are timestamps in the description down below, so you can skip to what you are interested in. Let's get started. Here is my very crude diagram of the battle. Cobalion is very similar to Entei in that he has 3 health bars and various AI scripts, but the battle is designed around inflicting status ailments to Cobalion. Cobalion has a passive skill called Healthy Advantage 8. This skill filters the majority of the damage dealt to Cobalion, and the only way to deactivate it is through status conditions. Status conditions include Poison, Burn, Paralysis, Sleep, and Freeze. So, you always want Cobalion under some status condition to enhance your damage, but he has a way to work around it. Whenever one of these status conditions subsides, or Cobalion reaches half health on one of his health bars, Listen Affliction 2 activates, which adds 2 levels of resistance to the status he recovered from, and it will keep activating until Cobalion becomes immune to the status. When he reaches the Listen 10 equivalent of the status, he will gain an immunity, so we have limited uses for each status in the game until they are rendered useless against Cobalion. But there is an exception. Listen Affliction 2 doesn't activate when Cobalion changes phases. When you totally deplete a health bar from Cobalion, the status clears without enhancing his resistance to it, so we can use this transition to more or less give us another use of the status. While there isn't a cheese for Cobalion like there was a sleep chain for Entei, if we time our status just right, we can abuse the mechanics of the battle to force Cobalion to always stay asleep, and this will be our focus for today. As mentioned earlier, you can use any status you want against Cobalion, but we can briefly assess the best options. Freeze can only be applied by Price and Lorelei, but it's very unreliable. You can make it work, but it won't be consistent. As for Poison, Cobalion starts with Listen Poison 9, so after one tick of Listen Affliction 2, Cobalion will gain Antitoxin and become immune. Even so, Poison can be useful for the first phase of the battle by sending in a sacrificial team to weaken Cobalion and use Poison so your second team can deal with him a little better. I'll go over that once we cover general strategy for the battle. Cobalion starts with very little paralysis resistance, so you can realistically apply it for all his 3 phases. And there are reliable users in Erika and Kalem. If you go down this route, you will need a gridded Skyla or Sabrina for constant recovery to keep up against Cobalion's attacks. Burn is quite potent, despite the fact Cobalion starts with a bit of burn resistance, but this makes him weak to Flannery, who happens to be a fantastic striker for this battle. For the opening round, this is a good way to go. Lastly, Sleep is the best and easiest status to use since it has the added perk of preventing Cobalion from attacking, so you don't have to worry about damage at all when he's asleep. Pokémon Masters now has 4 sleep users: Ramos, Agatha, Eje Bellsprout, and Serena. If you pull Serena, congrats! She has an accuracy self-buff and she's ready to sleep chain Cobalion at 1 out of 5 scouts, so you can skip the rest of this section. Agatha and Ramos are the more accessible sleep users. They are 4-star and 3-star gachas respectively. Agatha has a lot of speed, so she helps with move gauge, while Ramos has self-healing and can recover health to tank an extra hit. Eje Bellsprout is going to die on any sync or AoE move because its defenses are really bad. But if you are desperate enough, it is an option. All sleep users have something in common in that Hypnosis and Sleep Powder have 75% accuracy, so it's not guaranteed to connect. If you give them a couple accuracy buffs from Signa Surelesa, Sabrina, or Leaf, then you will be guaranteed to connect your sleep move. There is an alternative, however. If you give them the lucky skill Troublemaker 1 from Crunchy Cookies, then they will have 100% accuracy using sleep moves, so they won't need accuracy support. On the Entei video I said you need a Troublemaker 1 in addition to accuracy, but recently the community discovered that this is false, and Troublemaker 1 is enough to have a perfectly accurate Hypnosis or Sleep Powder. If you cannot buff accuracy or get Troublemaker 1, you can try to lower Cobalion's evasion with a sacrificial team. Mew and 3 out of 5 Borg can lower evasion with Unfortuitious 9. Serena can also drain evasion with Stat Leech, but if you have her, you don't have to bother with any of this. Now, this is where the fun begins. If you plan to 3v1 Cobalion, you need a Fire-type striker to capitalize off of his weakness. The obvious answer here is red, yes, but I realize not everybody could pull him, so here are some alternatives. Flannery in particular is very good because she's free to play, can burn Cobalion, and is easily accessible, but she needs 2 out of 5 scouts and a sync grid to be functional. Similarly, Hilda needs 2 out of 5 scouts for inertia, so she can keep up damage with a strong sync nuke. Serena needs a lot of support to work as a striker, but Overheat is very strong, and she comprises the sleeper role in this strat, so you can afford that support. Silver can burn Cobalion with Sacred Fire, and he can deal decent damage thanks to all his sun boosts after using a sync move. Lastly, Flint is the blandest fire type striker, and will want a sync grid for Fire Blast accuracy and Fire Blast move gauge refresh, but he can get the job done if Cobalion stays asleep long enough. Now, we need a tank so we can survive the first half of Cobalion's health before starting the sleep chain. I recommend Dawn, Skyla and Jasmine, but you're free to experiment here, there are a lot of options. Dawn has innate vigilance for critical hit immunity and lowers Cobalion's attack whenever he hits Torterra. She can also fully restore her HP and clear status from Poison Jab to let her tank a little longer, so she's ideal for this battle. Skyla is free to play and has a very good sync grid. You will want to raise her to 4-star potential so she can tank a little better. The problem with Skyla is that she is weak to rock and Cobalion uses a Stone Edge. If Cobalion creates a Stone Edge, he will obliterate Swan. If you can give Skyla the Vigilance Loki skill from Creamy Cookies, then you will be fine as long as you time Potion right. Jasmine is a budget Dawn, but she has the highest defense in the game and can provide party-wide crit immunity. She's the most difficult to use, but the strat I will show today uses Jasmine, so I will go a bit more in depth there. Here is the basic team structure I built from all the principles we talked about throughout this video. I have Jasmine as my tank to help me with the first phase of the battle, Flannery to inflict burn for first phase as well, and also functions as my main DPS, and then Ramos, who is my sleeper, and has Troublemaker 1 for a perfectly accurate sleep powder. And I just want to touch on the fact that you don't have to 3v1, you can always send a sacrificial team at the start to debuff Cobalion and make it a little easier for your main team, and it would help with RNG and whatnot. This is especially useful if you use Sky as your tank. You can send in Mina to lower Cobalion's attack, Hapu to lower its accuracy, and you can also send Mew to lower its evasion, and it would really aid you in the battle if you were to do that. Okay, as my girl Flannery would say, here we go. This music is such a banger, dude, it makes it a pleasure to do this encounter. Anyway, the battle starts off very similarly to any regular encounter. You want to buff up, get maximum stats wherever you can. X defense to improve Jasmine's ability to take hits, and also burn Cobalion to start getting burn ticks on him, some extra damage, and also filter some of his physical offense for Jasmine. As well as getting extra speed going on Ramos. Speed affects your move gauge, the rate at which it fills up, so it's very important for these instances. And you might notice I also use Clang with Jasmine. Clang gives you critical hit immunity, and Astonish is a plus crit move, so it has about a 50% chance of critting or some such. And not the exact number, but you need to watch out, it's dangerous. And here I Mega Evolve Steelix instead of attacking with Flannery, just to get some extra damage in there. And the reason for this is the quirks of the Steelix strat. I really want to get extra defense on Steelix so that it's able to tank a little better and allow it to soak up and maybe one more extra hit before it goes down. So I really appreciate the Mega Evolution. I don't care for Last Word as much as I care about the raw stats coming from Steelix. And after the first sync, you still want to keep up damage. What we're doing right now is stalling. We want to wait for Cobalion's sync move so that we have more actions in there before another sync move happens, to give us room for error. An extra Clang just in case he crits his Steel Impact or whatever. And now Flannery is also fully buffed up. That's another great thing about Flannery, is that she's a very self-sufficient striker and can max out her stats without any help. And I also reset for Too Hot to Handle NPR, I am pretty sure. So I could get a max critical hit rate on Flannery. Too Hot to Handle increases crit and defense, and I want +3 crit to guarantee my critical hits. And it will also give me very good chances of critting the sync move, which, as you will notice, deals a lot of damage to Cobalion when he's burnt, although we won't be able to use that anymore. So this is where we start to watch out for Cobalion's health and also start timing our attacks. The phase transition happens right around here, right around this spot, 50% health. So what we want to do is time our attack, wait for this attack to happen, transition, and also make sure that Ramos has a sleep powder going before Cobalion gets a chance to attack again. Because, well, first off, we needed to disable this in Affliction, but we also don't want this guy attacking us on Mold in the party. So I also did a Gyro Ball with Jasmine to get an extra tick on my sync countdown. And now he's sleeping baby. And this is with a fully buffed Flannery, she just goes brrr. You just want to start spamming Ember, that's where all your damage is coming from, so you want her to attack as much as possible. If you were to attack with the others for sync countdown, it just wouldn't help that much because Ember... the Ember spam is where our DPS is coming from. So, fortunately here, Cobalion stayed asleep long enough. You can tell Cobalion is about to wake up because his sleep icon starts flickering. Let's see if I can catch it here. Yeah, right there. When it starts flashing like this, it means that you have about 3 embers worth of damage before he's going to wake up. So I did 3 embers real quick. 1, 2, and 3. And because I knew I was going to kill him on 3 embers, I didn't bother queuing Sleep Powder with Ramos right away. But I was half guessing it, maybe I could have done a Gyro Ball, like that's what I was thinking in my head. So I did a mistake here. What I should have done is a Sleep Powder before the Fierce Hellbar was depleted to prevent this Swift from hitting me, so now my entire party ate a volley of AoE damage, which... I just want to show that even if you make mistakes, you can still win the encounter, like you don't have to be absolutely flawless with this. So, Gyro Ball again for some more sync countdown, and then disable Cobalion. And this is also where Ramos' trainer move comes in very handy. He can restore health and also give you room for error in case he has to get hit. But yeah, on this instance, Cobalion is going to wake up a lot earlier. The icon is still flickering, so here I am thinking, okay, Ember, Gyro Ball, and Sleep Powder, so to give more room for my Q, so I can snipe him with a Sleep Powder, but it still didn't work. What I should have done here was Gyro Ball, Ember, and then a Sleep Powder to give him more Q. Because I did it too early, and there's this weird thing in this game where if you do a Sleep Powder too early, it will say that Cobalion is still sleeping, because you hit him just when he was waking up. So, at least he did the Leer, he didn't hit me with any strong attack, so Jasmine got to stick around a little bit longer. And now I'm gonna make up for my mistake and Sleep Powder and get an extra tick of a sleep going, because now he's going to activate at least an Affliction too, and then activate it again on the half health transition. But what can you do? So we just keep going, Sleep Powder again to prevent, to get rid of the damage filter, and from here now the Flannery just takes care of this. The icon is still flickering, but I know that I'm going to kill Cobalion before the phase transition happens, before he is able to wake up. I'm going to interrupt that with a phase transition, so here I timed it right. I did Sleep Powder right when he was transitioning, so there you go. Cobalion is put to sleep. But he's gaining a lot of sleep resistance, so he's going to wake up very early here. But his first attack on this phase is always going to be a Sacred Sword. So if Jasmine is around, she can tank that for you. And let you Sleep Powder again. So this is where time is dire. Right now, we are at least in sleep 6. So Cobalion has about 2 more chances of waking up, like 1 more chance. If I put him to sleep again, he's going to have at least a sleep 8, and after that he will be immune to sleep, so we don't have a lot of time to work with here. But he cannot wake up immediately, very often. So I know I got a little bit of time here. So I know my sync move is ready here, but I still kept attacking with Ember. The reason for this is that I know that I have a little bit of time. Remember that when this icon starts flickering, you have about 3 embers worth of damage before he wakes up. So I'm going to Ember a little bit just to get extra damage and then sync, because I know the sync is going to get him past half health. And now he refreshes and I can Sleep Powder again, because that is guaranteed waking up. I know will happen. And from there, he's way too low on health to do anything. Flannery will just snipe him before he's able to wake up. And there you go! The battle is on. Lastly, I am going to show you a strat with Red, in case you did pull him. I will be briefer with this, but basically he just melts Cobalion. Being weak to fire in this game is terrible, because Red exists, and he's a beast. You can be way more aggressive with this strat, because, like I said, Red is way stronger than Flannery, he doesn't need as much wind up, and in this one I did a no damage run. So the difference here is that I put Cobalion to sleep immediately. I did not wait for Cobalion with another status ailment, although I could have done that with a sacrificial team. But either way, I buff up with red. Just get one dire hit plus because his sync move gives him an extra stage of critical hit, so you can just start using Blastburn to get some guaranteed damage in there. And the thing about this strat is that it's a lot more luck based because you just have to hope for longer sleep cycles. I didn't really touch about this, but sleep is random. It just happens at different intervals. But yeah, I also have a 3 out of 5 red, so I also went for a Sun Grid with a Speeding Sun too, so that he could recharge Mulgauch a little bit faster. But it's the same thing in principle, putting the guy to sleep when he reaches half health. But red is just much quicker about this. Under Sun, Blastburn deals massive damage to Cobalion, and he can usually snipe him before he's able to even have a chance of waking up. But right here, notice that I was waiting instead of attacking with Blastburn. The reason for this is that I wanted a Sleep Powder because I knew I was going to kill Cobalion, this is red. And I wanted a Sleep Powder queued before he was able to kill me, so that I could keep the no damage run going. And from there, it's about getting lucky. Hope Sleep keeps activating, and you're also using Sun to enhance Red's damage. But you can just do a ton of things with Theodos Love. You can have, I don't know, Eevee, you can have Sabrina, or even Delphox to also assist you with Overheat. Maybe a Skyla. I don't know. Get creative, dude. That's the thing about this game. You can just use any lineup you want. I'm just giving you the basic archetype for what you need. But yeah. Hope this video helps, hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.